At the Spectra SP80 base and rover station. We have our lovely Sean as the cameraman today, and Stefan is your instructor slash guide. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to pick a spot on the roof where we can kind of see all faces of the roof. So this roof has about 3 different levels. We got the lower level, we got this upper level, and then if we look over here on the other side of this wall, we have a third, even lower level. So we want to kind of pick a point where, you know, if I'm down there, my rover and basin are going to be able to communicate and see each other. So we found that this corner was probably the best spot. We can even brace the legs kind of against the side so that way it doesn't slip. It's a little slick up here today, and we really don't want to dig these feet into the ground. So we're going to try and be gentle with it.
All right, so to begin, we'll thread the antennas through the mounting poles. Antennas are mounted through the mounting poles. We will attach the rover station and the base station to the mounting poles. Once the mounting poles are attached, we will take the rover station, which is marked with blue antenna and blue on the device, and we'll mount it to the pole, and then we'll take the base unit and mount it to the tripod. So the first step of mounting to the tripod is attaching the leveler onto the tripod, and then the mounting pole onto the leveler. Base station attached to the tripod. We'll level it out using the level on the mount, and then we'll also go ahead and attach the rover station onto the pole using this mounting caliper. Okay, now we can see we have the control unit attached to the rover unit attached to the pole. And now we'll come over and watch as Stefan levels the leveler.
All right, so yeah, we got everything attached. So you know the tripod is made up of about 3 or 4 different parts. So we are missing one part here that we will get in a minute. It's just an extender up. Not a big deal. You don't necessarily need it. We like to add it just so we can get a little bit more height based on our pole. But we have the main tripod. We have the fine leveling tool here. The fine leveling tool does have a couple pieces to it. So you have the main base, which is the yellow part with these black knobs. You have the black base up here, which is loosenable from this portion right here. We just want to make sure it's locked so this doesn't come up. Then the silver piece or gold piece in the middle, it contains the screw that this antenna attaches to. So this is all set up and it's pretty much ready to go. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to level it. So if we come up top here to the fine leveling adjustment, we can see that we have a level bubble. So what we want to do is we want that to be in the center, and that means that our antenna is level up and down. So we've gotten a pretty good spot, and basically what you want to do is step on the bubble. So if the bubble is coming towards you, that means that that's the high point. So you just kind of want to lower this portion. So this side is the high side based on the bubble. So we're just going to turn it. Oh, wrong way, we're at it there. So just a little bit. It's literally quarter turn. So you notice that quarter turn just gives it a little bit of movement. So it's kind of shifting this way. So we're going to turn this one and lift it up a little bit. All right, now a little bit down. There we go. We got the tripod or the rover set up as well. We're just going to turn everything on. So to turn this one on, we just press and hold the power button, the red button on the side. We got some motion on the screen, Spectra instruments, perfect, that's what we want to do. We also want to double check the level. Since we've touched the unit, sometimes it gets a little bit out of whack. We're in really good shape there still. Then you come over and we'll turn the rover on as well. Once again, press and hold, lights come on, we got some images. So now the base and the rover are on. So we got the base station set up. Both units are turned on. So we don't know what's on right now. We have the battery, full battery, mostly full battery. We got 16 satellites. We got a base station. So we're really good here. And we got a connection to the unit. You can see the Wi-Fi little signal there. I know the screen's really hard to see with the camera. All right, this one's the same way. We have the 12, we have the auto, and then we have some battery percentages here. So we are good to go. So now we're going to turn on our hand control unit. So we just go ahead and hit the green little power button at the side here, and we're in our survey. So we're going to go to general survey. All right, and I put a little Easter egg in here, but I already made the job. We're going to go through and make the job a second time. But, I already put in our address. But if you were to do this from scratch, we'd start with jobs. All right, we go to new job. All right, and we type in what our job name is. All right, we will always use our last used job template with this system. And we will have our coordinate system changed. So we're currently in Illinois East. Makes sense, we're in Illinois on the east side. But if we wanted to change it, we'll give a tap here. We'll select from library. It'll pop up with this screen here. And all we want to do is hit the arrow on the second one, the zone, not the system, the zone. And we want to pick what state or our time zone are in. So some smaller states like Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, 1 zone. Bigger states, Pennsylvania has 2 zones. I think California has 7 or 8 zones. So, all of these are just different places in the world. And you can get a map of what each one of these zones actually represents. It just tells you what geolocation you're kind of taking points in. So we'll store that. We're going to escape because we have our job already. All right, so we are ready to kind of continue here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure. We're going to do an Rtk measurement, and we're going to start our base receiver. So I said all of those things. So measure, that's what you click. Then Rtk, that's what you click. And now we're going to say start base receiver, and that's what we click. So it's connecting to the GNS base via Bluetooth. All right, I don't know if you can read that or not, but give us a second and we're connected. Starting survey Rtk. So it starts through. All right, and now the first thing that we want to do is create our base point. So since we set the base up, it has no idea where it is. So we want to come up to point name, and it has a question mark that's kind of highlighted now, and we'll hit the little arrow, and then we'll say key in. All right, we're going to call this point 3001. This is not a huge roof, so I think it's going to be a little bit less than 3,000 points, but it's a way to differentiate our point from everything else. We're also going to label it base as our code. All right, and then northing, easting, and elevation is where it is located. Now, I don't know exactly where it is, so we're just going to hit here. So we'll hit here 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 times just to get it all settled up. As you hit here, it kind of triangulates your position a little bit better. All right, so once we got that in, we'll hit store. All right, now we have our point name, 3001. We have our code base. We have our observation class as SBAS. And then we have antenna height. So the antenna height was what we got to measure next. We're here at our tripod. So what we want to do is get to where the center of it is. This is kind of where the measurement is from. We bring the tape up to where it gets to the base. So it's just about 67 inches from the ground to the base of the unit right here. All right, so that's important. This is where the antenna is. So that's where we're measuring from, the bottom of the antenna mount. So when we come back here, I said 67. So we'll type in the antenna height uncoordinated, 67 IN. You always got to remember to add a metric to it, either inches or survey feet, SFT, or millimeters or meters, something. You got to have some type of reference to what you're measuring. 67 is 67 what? They don't know. So we got our point name, we got our antenna height, we're good to go. We're going to hit enter. All right, and we're going to hit enter again, and we're going to start the survey here. Base has been started. Excellent. So now it kicks us back out to our main survey screen. All right, we're going to go again to measure. We're going to go again to Rtk, and then we're going to go down to measure points. We've already started our base receiver, so now it's time to measure some points. It's connecting to the rover. I heard a beep. Should kick in here in a minute. There it is. Starting survey Rtk. Before you take your first point, one of the first things that you're going to get asked, you'll go ahead and you'll type in your code. So I think here we've typed in 001 or something of the subject, and then we'll change the code to whatever we're measuring. We'll call this, I think it still says base, but we'll call it edge. you know, we're going to say edge 1, and then if you hit enter, the next thing it'll bring you to is antenna height, uncoordinated. So what that means is how high is this stick right here. So this, the one for our Spectra SP80 unit is 88 inches tall. I know that because we've used it a lot, but it always helps. You can just measure it from the top to here. Should be about 88 inches. So we'll go ahead and type in an antenna height, 88 IN. All right, we'll hit enter. So it'll change it to 7.333 SFT, survey feet. So that's great. That's exactly what we want. So this is good to go. We just got to change our code, and we can take our point.